On the evening of May 11th, 1950, Evelyn Trent was enjoying the spring air at the farmhouse she shared with her husband Paul, about 9 miles from McMinnville, Oregon. She was walking back to the house after feeding the rabbits when she saw something unusual.
Mrs. Trent looked up and saw a disc-shaped object flying in her direction from the northeast. She called out for her husband Paul, and he came running out, and he saw it too. So he ran back in the house and grabbed his camera, and he had time to take 2 photographs.
These are the pictures that Paul Trent took that day. These photos and the story of the sighting were published in the local newspapers and were soon picked up by the wire services. The photos caused a sensation across the country and were even published in Time magazine.
These photographs have been subjected to intense scrutiny for decades using every photographic technique known to man, and no one has been able to say for sure what that object is in those pictures. But no one has been able to say definitively that the photographs were faked. As far as I'm concerned, those are pictures of a real UFO.
But just when we thought we knew everything we would ever know about the McMinnville sighting, startling new information has come to light about the UFO and its inhabitants.
I've been studying this event for years, and I have finally uncovered the truth about what happened that day. That UFO didn't just fly by, it landed. Aliens emerged from that spacecraft. They lived with the Trents, and they integrated themselves into the McMinnville community. The aliens were strange looking, but they spoke English. They were intelligent, but they were confused about their surroundings. But the most amazing thing about them was that they were assholes.
Grandma told me that the spaceship landed right in the middle of their alfalfa field. A few seconds passed and a door opened and 2 aliens came out. She said they had big heads with huge black eyes. There were 2 holes where the nose should be and just a slit for the mouth. She said they walked up to her and Grandpa and one of them immediately belched. Well, at least she hoped it was a belch, not being sure that the hole it came out of was the creature's mouth.
Eventually, the Trents invited the aliens into their home, and they settled in.
At first, everything was fine. The aliens shared the guest room in the Trents' house, and every once in a while they'd go out and explore their surroundings. The Trents were friendly people. They believed in extending hospitality to travelers, but the aliens ate constantly. They took up smoking and drinking. They organized high-stakes poker games with local hooligans. The Trents tolerated the aliens and their eccentricities for some time. I've recently uncovered correspondence between Evelyn and her sister that shows just how bad things had gotten.
Dearest Betsy, things are good here. Hope all is well with you. Looks like a promising year for the crops, although Paul doesn't think we'll get enough rain this year. Those 2 gentlemen from outer space are still here. They've been staying at the house for several months now, and I'm afraid they're wearing out their welcome. Apparently on their planet, all plumbing is indoors, and they refuse to use our outhouse. It's been quite a mess, I can tell you. Number 1 and number 2. And what seems to be numbers 3 through 6. They claim to have come here to study life on this planet, but they just sit around listening to the radio all day and complaining constantly that we don't have one of those newfangled televisions yet. One of them found a girlfriend in town and has her over to the house at all hours. She's kind of a hussy if you ask me. I bet they've been studying her plenty. Wish they'd just go back to their own planet.
But the aliens didn't leave Earth right away. As it turns out, they integrated themselves into Earth culture, eventually interbreeding with humans.
Grandma told me that one of the aliens got his girlfriend pregnant. She said that the pregnancy itself only lasted about 2 weeks, but the labor went on for 6 months. Eventually, the baby was born in the guest room of the farmhouse. Well, afterwards, the aliens left and the poor girl had to raise the baby by herself. He grew up around here. In fact, he lives a couple blocks away from me. He's a nice enough guy, but he's got his problems.
It's not easy growing up part alien. Kids tease me because of how I look. I never really fit in. Then when I got a little older, I started getting in trouble. There's something about having alien blood in you that makes you want to do crazy, stupid things. and just act like an idiot.
Eddie was a handful, and who can blame him? He's in his 60s now, but when he was younger, he was quite the ladies' man. He was married several times. He's had many children, most of which he's lost touch with now, but I don't know if it's the alien genes, but a surprising number of his kids have become celebrities. There's actors, musicians, athletes, and politicians. Those aliens who landed in McMinnville in 1950 didn't just set in motion a UFO craze that's lasted to this day. They actually changed the fabric of our society.
Will aliens visit us again? Will they travel the enormous distance from their planet to ours and gather up their descendants and take them to their home world? All we can do is look to the stars and hope so.